5 years have passed since Art the Clown terrorized Miles County with a series of brutal murders, and his current whereabouts are unknown. Sienna Shaw, one of the few survivors of Art's rampage, has been living in a mental hospital trying to forget the horrors of that Halloween night. Just as Sienna was headed to her aunt and uncle's house for the holidays, Art awakens, and now it's not just Saint Nick who's coming to town. This is Terrifier 3. Terrifier 3 is the third installment of the Terrifier franchise, a franchise made popular by a new slasher icon, Art the Clown. That maniac is the face of Spirit Halloween this year, and for an indie franchise, that's actually pretty neat. Now, Terrifier 2 surprised the hell out of me. I was not anticipating to like that film as much as I did, or at all, to be honest. But it had some great characters, both with a fantastic final girl and Art the Clown himself. So I was quite excited to see Terrifier 3, and boy was that a mistake. But not because the film is bad. Let me be very clear about that. Terrifier 3 found my limit. I never really thought that was possible, but man, this film did the impossible. This film is a lot of drawn out execution style scenes. They really wanted to hammer it home that Art the Clown is a thorough motherfucker. They did that by sacrificing what I thought to be a substantial plot. Now, David Howard Thornton is a madman in every sense of the word. It makes sense as to why Art the Clown is held in such high regard when it comes to slashers. It's his performance. He takes the silent slasher approach, something seen with Jason Voorhees or Michael Myers, and make it something with character, something that wouldn't be out of place with Robert Englund as Freddy Krueger. His performance is just enthralling to watch. I would watch a 90-minute Mr. Bean style movie where it's just David Howard Thornton going on little antics as Art the Clown, but not killing anyone. He is that fucking good as this character. It could stand on its own apart from the murder aspect. And that's what makes him such a good clown, too. He is a new horror icon, and hey, you know what? I salute it. You know, I used to think that people fainting and throwing up during screenings of Terrifier 2 were a bit overdramatic. I will admit that got me to go see the movie, but I never felt the film was that over the top. At least compared to 1. There may have been one kill in 2 that I think was kind of overkill. Literally overkill. But nothing struck me as, this is gross. I don't like this. Did Damien Leone hear me? Did that sick motherfucker hear me? I'm not kidding. I was sitting at like the top of the theater when I was watching the movie. There came a point where I just said, you know what? It might be for the best if I just scurry on down to the bottom, just in case I need to make a rush to the restroom. I'm glad I did, because one of the last kills in this movie is fucking vile. And apparently I wasn't the only one that felt this way, because you know who else almost got sick during the filming of this movie? The guy playing Art the Clown, David Howard Thornton. Maybe I was just having an off day that day, but for the sake of it, I'm just gonna give the movie credit. I'm usually not a fan of these gore porn kind of movies, and I'm still not 100% in it now, but I have to give credit where it's due. Not only are the practical gore effects fantastic, Art the Clown sells it better than any other sadistic killer in the genre. Looking at you, Jigsaw. That does, however, bring me to my issues. After the initial shock and swallowing my own vomit, some of these kills definitely feel drawn out. Almost too drawn out. It's like a modern Mortal Kombat fatality. Stop, he's already dead. There are some instances where these kills are so drawn out, it's kind of boring too. If it wasn't for Art the Clown's great personality, some of these kills would be unsalvageably boring. I get it, that's these movies' thing, just having long, drawn out, brutal kills, but there's only so much you can do when ripping the flesh off of a human being. And what's funny, I haven't even brought up the story yet, because the story is absolutely the weakest part of this film. I thought the story of 2 was solid for what it was, but this was really lacking. Sienna Shaw was one of the best final girls we've gotten in a long time, but she really takes a back seat to Art's antics in this movie. That definitely won't help the gore porn allegations. There is definitely a story here, it's just not as strong as the last one, I gotta say. If you're gonna make an art-centric movie, at least give me some art lore. And we get some, but it's not as interesting as I would have liked it to have been. At least it's nowhere near as involved as I would have expected the character to be. I really expected them to do something completely out of left field, but no, he's a silly little guy. I am a bit polarized here because this is an extremely well-produced indie horror film. Art is fantastic, and the gore effects are top of the line. But it seems as if the last thing there is what they really wanted to focus on. It's not bad necessarily, but it did leave me wanting more. It's definitely a step down from 2, but it's still much better than 1. Art's antics, and I'm not even talking about his killings, more than make up for the film's story shortcomings. But the film is alright, and I'm interested, albeit a bit hesitant, to see the next one. Because man, are we getting that next one? I hope you all enjoyed this review, and if you did, please consider hitting that like button, and if you want to see more, hit that subscribe button and ring that bell to be notified when my next review drops. Until next time, I'm Quint Dunaway, hoping you will keep it cinematic.